Hello everyone. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the class expectations and the rules and grading. So what you need to know for the class. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible. So just looking up here at the top, my email, contact information, course description. So American History 1, as you might guess, covers the first half of American history. So we'll go all the way back to early Native American societies and up to the end of the Civil War. We'll be analyzing primary and secondary sources, which you guys will get familiar with this week. And mainly learning about the events that shaped the early United States. Some key events that we'll talk about are the Revolutionary War, the Constitution, political developments, slavery, and the Civil War. So you got an idea there of what we'll be learning about in this class. Also, you'll have the weekly goals at the top of each week so you guys know what you'll be learning for that particular week. But this is kind of a broad overview of what you'll learn throughout the semester. I didn't put many class rules or procedures on here, so I'm going to try to keep it simple and straightforward, but I expect you guys to adhere to these rules and procedures throughout the semester. Make sure you don't fall behind. So class will begin as soon as the bell rings. This is an old rule that I have from my old syllabus. Please be in your seat to avoid being tardy. I'm not going to really be giving out tardies to those that come in through hybrid, but make sure that you're here on time. But this also goes for remote students as well. You need to make sure that you're showing up to those Zoom meetings on time. And the reason for that is once hybrid students start coming back, and I have students in class with me, the way I set up my Zoom meetings is to start at the beginning of class. So you need to make sure that you're not showing up 5 minutes late. That's going to throw me off. It's going to throw your classmates off. And it's just not courteous to anybody to show up late. So you guys have plenty of time in order to make sure that you're there on time. Wake up in the morning and make sure that you're joining. I would even join 5 minutes early. Try to join in that 5 minute window before the actual time is for the Zoom meeting, because we will be getting started. I may not be right beside my computer. I may be kind of talking to the class, but also have my microphone so the ones on Zoom can hear me. I may not see that you're trying to join. So to avoid any confusion and to avoid any hiccups and be courteous to your classmates, just make sure you're showing up to those meetings on time, or even a little bit early would be better. Look to the board for instructions. That will be for those of you that are hybrid students. So when you come in, you will see I have a big whiteboard at the side of the classroom. I'll have everything written down that you guys will be doing for the day on that board. For those of you that are remote, this is where you'll look at those weekly activities and through Monday through Friday and see what you guys need to do for each day there. Have cell phones cut off before class starts. This is an old rule of mine as well. So when you guys do come back and you are hybrid, make sure you don't have your phone out. Make sure it's cut off. There will be times where you can't have your phone out, but for the most part, just make sure it's put up. It's rude to me. It's rude to your classmates to have that phone out while I'm either up here teaching or you're supposed to be working. Late work. So this is very important. Make sure that you're familiar with this. I've had this policy since I have started teaching. So late work will lose a letter grade for each day that is late. And for our cases in remote learning and throughout the semester, the due date for everything is 11:59 on Sunday. You guys know that date very well. It's the same exact thing from last semester. It'll be the same thing throughout this entire semester. 11:59 on Sunday, that's the due date that matters. After that day, things will be considered late. So say you don't get an assignment turned in on Monday, but you get it turned in on Friday, throughout the week, that's fine. 11:59 on Sunday, that's the date that matters. That's the time you have to have it in before it is considered late. After that day, say, you don't get everything turned in on Monday or you don't get everything turned in on Sunday and you turn it in, sometime on Monday. I don't care if it's, 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday, it will be considered late. It's past the due date, so you're going to automatically lose 10 points on that assignment. So with this, I understand, with coronavirus, people get sick, things happen, things pop up unexpectedly. If that happens, you need to communicate that with me as soon as possible, preferably before Sunday, that, hey, I'm sick, I have a sibling that's sick, I have a parent that's sick, and I may not be able to get all of my assignments in by Sunday. I'll say, depending on the circumstances, I'll give you a few extra days to turn that in. But, if something is an emergency or something is a legitimate, crisis in your life, you need to reach out to me and let me know that. I can't read your minds. I'm not seeing you every day, so you have to let me know if there's a particular reason why you can't meet that due date. But for everything else, say I'm going down to the beach for the weekend and I'm not going to have my assignments in on Sunday. If that's not a legitimate excuse, that's tough. You should have made sure you had all your assignments done before your vacation. So let me know what the circumstances are if you can't meet this due date. But for everything else, make sure it's due or make sure it's turned in by 11:59 on Sunday. Make contact with me every week. So this is a new requirement that I'm going to have for all of my classes. That's going to be that either you come to a Zoom meeting. For those of you who are hybrid, showing up to class will obviously count. But for those of you that are remote and you may not be able to make it to Zoom meetings, you need to send me an email every week. So whether that is, hey, Mr. Whitley, I'm doing fine. I've got all my work submitted. I'm good to go. That's good enough. But I need to have an email from you every single week, making sure that everything's going fine, that you're keeping up with your assignments. If I haven't heard from you, I don't care if you submitted all your assignments for the week. If I have not heard from you, then I'm going to call home and say, hey, I didn't have any contact with such and such this week. Make sure they send me an email or make sure they're showing up to a Zoom meeting. And probably the biggest thing here is do not plagiarize. That is by far my biggest pet peeve that I've seen from last semester and even before that. But it is so blatantly obvious when you copy and paste answers. And what even makes me more mad than copy and pasting answers is when somebody copies and pastes, they receive a 0, and then sends me an email. Why did I receive a 0? Well, you know why you received a 0, because you copied and pasted, straight off of Google. I'd rather you give me a simple, straightforward answer that you wrote yourself rather than give me some elaborate answer that you copied and pasted. It's blatantly obvious. I may not catch it 100% of the time, but I'll catch it the majority of the time. Trust me, when you're remote and you copying and pasting answers, even if you're changing a word here and there, look, all the other students are going to be Googling the same answer. They're going to have the same thing. It's all going to be obvious, and you're all going to not receive credit for that assignment. So again, just make sure you're putting into simple words. Make sure I understand that, I'm not right there over your shoulder. I can't see what you're doing on your MacBook. But I will let you know this, with your quizzes and tests in Canvas, I can see every time that you click off of the tab. So if you're taking a test and you've clicked off the test 50 times, I want to shoot you an email and be like, hey, what's going on? Why did you have to click off the test so many times? So I can see that and make sure that you guys are doing the right thing, being honest and not plagiarizing and not cheating. But again, do not plagiarize. That'll be the downfall of you if you're copying and pasting answers throughout this semester. Last thing with grading, we have pretty much all of your assignments throughout the week, including quizzes, will count once. Tests, there will be 2 each 6 weeks. They will count 3 times. There will be 1 at the middle of the 6 weeks, 1 at the end of the 6 weeks. And so, again, make sure you guys are doing a good job on those. Lastly, you have major writing assignments and projects. I didn't assign any projects last semester, but I did assign a few major writing assignments. So I will let you know beforehand, and those will count 2 times. So I will communicate with that to you guys, so you guys aren't caught off guard with that. It'll be straightforward. Lastly, grading scale, 10-point scale. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B. You guys are familiar with that. Pretty straightforward. And then the last thing I want to kind of leave you with is just to kind of go back and make sure that you are turning in assignments at 11:59 on Sunday. Make sure that you're contacting me every week, and do not plagiarize. Those are the 3 most important things to remember for this class. So if you have any questions about any of this, any of the expectations, just reach out to me and let me know.